There are very few TV characters who break your heart as often as Jesse Pinkman.
I accept who I am.
And who are you?
I'm the bad guy.
From the very beginning of Breaking Bad, Jesse feels less like a fictional drug dealer and more like a lost soul we all want to reach out and protect. He's not perfect, far from it, but his story is one filled with pain, rejection, and betrayal. And every time he tried to stand up, life, or more often Walter White, found a way to knock him back down. This is Every Time You Felt Bad for Jesse Pinkman. In Season 1, Episode 6, Crazy Handful of Nothing, we get our first real taste of Jesse's suffering. Desperate to prove himself as more than just a small-time dealer, Jesse takes it upon himself to expand their meth business. He goes to Tuco Salamanca, a man so unpredictable and violent that even the mention of his name makes others shiver. Skinny Pete gives Jesse the introduction, and Jesse, naive, hopeful, maybe even a little cocky, walks in thinking he can handle this. He demands upfront payment, refusing Tuco's insistence on consignment.
You said this was cool. Okay, money for meth, cash up front.
Front, dude, Tuco's good for it.
I don't need you punk ass to vouch for me!
But Jesse is no match for Tuco's rage. In a sudden explosion of violence, Tuco beats Jesse senseless, slamming a bag into him over and over until Jesse collapses with broken ribs and blood pouring down his face. By the time he wakes up in the hospital, he's not just bruised physically, but emotionally too. This was the beginning of Jesse's endless cycle of abuse. Fans often point out that Walt's ambition and pressure were what drove Jesse into this situation in the first place. And as we see Jesse lying there, barely able to move, it's hard not to feel pity for a kid who's trying too hard to survive in a world built to crush him. The pain doesn't stop there. In Season 2, Episode 2, Grilled, Jesse finds himself in the clutches of Tuco again, this time kidnapped alongside Walt. Tuco drags them to a remote shack in the desert. He takes their phones, holds them at gunpoint, and promises either death or relocation to Mexico to cook meth. Jesse, trapped in that lonely house, is staring at a man who could kill him at any moment. He tries negotiating. He even grabs a tire iron in a desperate attempt, but every move he makes just ends in failure. The fear in his eyes, the helplessness in his shaky voice, it's gut-wrenching. Some argue Jesse's past choices put him there. But when you see him trembling and powerless, it's impossible not to view him as the victim. Then comes a quieter but no less heartbreaking moment in Season 2, Episode 4, Down. We finally see the fracture between Jesse and his family. His parents have always looked at him as a disappointment, a black sheep who couldn't measure up to their expectations. Years earlier, when his drug use got out of hand, they had already kicked him out. He had found refuge with his Aunt Jenny, caring for her while she battled cancer. But after her death, even her house slipped through his fingers. When his parents discover the meth lab in her basement,
I saw your basement. I was worried, so I went over there and I let myself in, and I found your laboratory.
they evict him again and change the locks. But what really twists the knife is when Jesse takes the blame for a joint that wasn't even his. It belonged to his younger brother, yet Jesse shoulders the responsibility just to protect him. He could have defended himself, but instead, he sacrifices his chance at reconciliation. Watching him walk away, homeless and broken, you can feel his longing for love and acceptance. It's a wound that never truly heals, and one that makes us ache for him all the more. Season 2 continues to hammer him down. Episode 6, Peekaboo, throws Jesse into one of the most disturbing situations of his entire arc. Sent to reclaim stolen meth, he ends up in a filthy house with 2 addicts and a child who should never have been there. The addicts are violent. They're unpredictable. Their only focus is cracking open a stolen ATM. Jesse, already shaken, tries to protect the innocent boy, giving him food, shielding him from the chaos. Then the mother kills the father in a horrifying accident with the ATM. Jesse is left standing there, traumatized, staring at the blood on the floor. He walks out alive, but not unscarred. His guilt for leaving that child in such a nightmare lingers, and our sympathy for him deepens. He isn't a monster. He has feelings. And in this twisted world, that makes him suffer even more. Not long after, tragedy strikes again. In Season 2, Episode 11, Mandala, Jesse loses Combo, one of his closest friends. Combo was just another young man trying to hustle, selling meth on a corner he didn't know belonged to a rival gang. A kid is sent to kill him.
Yo, Skinny, I'm up here on 2nd and Hazeltine getting eyeballed hard. I got a bad feeling, man. I need some backup. Get your ass up here now.
And just like that, Jesse's friend is gone, shot dead on the street. Jesse's guilt is overwhelming. He can't shake the feeling that it's his fault, that he dragged his friends into this dangerous game. This pain drives him back into heroin, sharing his escape with Jane, the woman who becomes his light, and soon, his undoing. Episode 12, Phoenix, is the one that breaks both Jesse and the audience. Jesse and Jane are wrapped up in drugs and love, living recklessly, ignoring the outside world. But one night after shooting up, Jesse wakes to a nightmare. Jane is beside him, lifeless. He panics. He tries to save her. He performs CPR. He shakes her. He begs her to breathe. Nothing works. Jane is already dead. What makes it worse is Walt watching nearby, choosing to let her die. Jesse doesn't know this yet, but the tragedy leaves him shattered. Jane was Jesse's chance at happiness. She understood him. She gave him hope. And now she's gone. The next episode, ABQ, shows us Jesse at rock bottom. He hides away in a drug den. He sobs, breaking apart in front of Walt, saying,
I killed her. What? I killed her. It was me. I loved her.
These aren't the words of a hardened criminal. They're the cries of a broken man who blames himself for everything. When Walt drags him to rehab, Jesse is too far gone emotionally. The pain is so raw, so consuming, that you can't help but feel your heart crack for him. And as if that weren't enough, Jane's father's grief indirectly causes a mid-air collision that kills hundreds, tying Jesse's personal tragedy to a much larger disaster. His suffering spreads like a ripple. By Season 3, things don't get easier. Episode 7, 1 Minute, delivers yet another brutal beating, this time from Hank Schrader. After Hank is tricked into thinking Jesse was behind a cruel phone call about his wife, he storms into Jesse's home and unleashes his fury. Fists fly, Jesse's face is broken, his body crumpling under the assault. Lying in a hospital bed yet again, Jesse's rage boils. He wants justice. He wants Hank punished. But Walt convinces him to drop the charges, silencing him once again. Jesse's body is bruised, but the betrayal stings worse. Time and again, he suffers while Walt uses him as a pawn. Then comes one of the darkest moments of his life. Season 3, Episode 13, Full Measure. Gus Fring has brought in Gale, a gentle, kind chemist, as a replacement for Walt. To survive, Walt manipulates Jesse into doing the unthinkable, killing Gale. Tears stream down his face. His hand shakes. Jesse points a gun at a man begging for his life. With every instinct in his body screaming not to, he pulls the trigger. The sound of that shot is the sound of Jesse's soul fracturing. It's a point of no return. He never wanted to be a killer, but Walt made sure he became one. Season 4 piles on even more torment. In Episode 12, End Times, Andrea's young son Brock falls mysteriously ill. Jesse's world collapses. He is convinced Brock has been poisoned by ricin, and he believes he's the one responsible. The guilt eats him alive. The thought that his actions may have hurt a child who trusted him. Even when Brock recovers and Jesse learns it wasn't his fault, the pain doesn't lift. Later, the cruel truth emerges. It was Walt all along. Walt, the man Jesse trusted, orchestrated the whole thing, manipulating Jesse's heart in the most vicious way possible. By Season 5, Jesse's suffering reaches almost unbearable levels. Episode 5, Dead Freight, gives us one of the most shocking moments in the entire show. After successfully pulling off a train heist, everything seems perfect, until a young boy named Drew Sharp rides by on his dirt bike. In an instant, Todd pulls out a gun and kills him. Jesse screams in horror, his body trembling with disbelief. The boy was innocent, just a kid who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Jesse breaks down, his soul scarred yet again by the death of a child. But nothing compares to the betrayal of Season 5, Episode 14, Ozymandias. After a bloody shootout, Walt turns Jesse over to Jack's neo-Nazi gang. And before Jesse is dragged away, Walt delivers the cruelest dagger yet.
No! No!
Wait! I watched Jane die.
That moment, Jesse's eyes fill with more than fear. He's yanked away, knowing the man he once called partner destroyed everything he ever loved. In Episode 15, Granite State, Jesse's nightmare continues. The gang chains him in an underground lab, forcing him to cook meth like a slave. When he tries to escape, Todd punishes him in the most horrific way imaginable. They take Andrea, the woman Jesse cares for, and execute her in front of him.
Just so you know, this isn't personal.
Tied up in a car, gagged, Jesse is forced to watch as Todd casually pulls the trigger. Andrea collapses, lifeless, while Jesse screams into the rag stuffed in his mouth. It is the cruelest torture imaginable, leaving Jesse not just broken, but hollow. Days pass, and he becomes a shell of himself, beaten down so thoroughly he barely resembles the person we first met. Through every one of these moments, we feel Jesse's pain like it's our own. His story is pure tragedy. He wanted love. Instead, the world chewed him up and spat him out. Time after time, Jesse was betrayed and broken, and every time, we felt bad for him. Because beneath the drugs and the chaos, Jesse Pinkman was just a lost soul searching for love. But now I want to hear from you. Out of all these heartbreaking moments, which one hit you the hardest? Was it Jane's death, Brock's poisoning, or the way Walt betrayed him in Ozymandias? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I know fans still debate which of Jesse's tragedies was the most devastating. If you enjoyed reliving Jesse's journey and want more deep dives into Breaking Bad, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most broken characters are the ones we end up loving the most.